Dear Diary, today we delve into the vibrant world of rainbow makeup, exploring the intersection of self-expression, pride, and the complexities of rainbow capitalism. So it is now June, which means it's officially Pride Month. Woo, Pride! Happy Pride! Hi gay! Happy Pride everyone! And I wanted to do something special, so I wrote out some things that I wanted to talk about, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Pride, which I think pushes this video into commentary video territory, so I guess technically the makeup will be the background, but that means there's something there for everybody. Even though this video isn't about the makeup, I do still want to let you know what I'm using, so if I don't say it out loud, I'm sure it'll be on the screen. So if you didn't already know, or if it wasn't incredibly obvious, I am queer, and also queer, so pride is something that's pretty important to me. To be perfectly honest, I didn't really understand pride until I got to college, and I know that's because of my upbringing. Like, I had never even heard of homosexuality until I was in the 7th grade, and I was like, that's an option? And it wasn't just that I was sheltered as a child, which I was. Much of my family is just straight up bigoted. Like, I was once visiting my grandparents, and I went downstairs to get a snack, and there was a trans ad on the TV, and my grandfather yelled at the trans actor in the ad and called them scum. So, and that's just one instance. And like, I wouldn't say that I'm educated enough, or at the very least confrontational enough to like challenge somebody's opinions or beliefs, and I would be indifferent to see them pass on in ignorant bliss. One thing I do know is that if you're out there saying, why do they need a parade? You are the reason. If truly nobody cared, they wouldn't need to exist. But because LGBT people were oppressed for so long for being themselves, now it's a part of history. Pride is meant to be in your face. It's the celebration of a natural expression. The first Pride was a riot. That's a quote that gets thrown around a lot, but it really helped me to understand why it's so important. So if you're thinking about going to a Pride event this month, I thought I would be able to give you some tips. Some are my opinion, some I found online. One is get a little educated. Take 15-20 minutes, read the Wikipedia article on Stonewall. This doesn't just apply to cis-het people. If you're a baby gay, do a little research on gay history. It doesn't have to be a lot, just develop a sense of, well, pride. And the veteran gays love teaching the children. So find one of them, they're great. 2, if you're straight, remember that you are a guest at our event. We don't need you yelling in the streets when nobody else is. If you want to join a march, great. But if you're over by the merchant tables and you just start yelling, you're going to get some weird looks and you should stop. I know that's just general etiquette, but I don't know the level of common sense of straight people. Oh, and definitely don't hit on anybody. Even if they're wearing a bi flag, this is not the time. Now I want to talk about some entities that aren't welcome at Pride. One is pretty obvious, bigots. Don't bring your whole, I'm cool with gays, but I don't get the whole trans thing, energy into our space. And religious people singing and chanting about God's love and the devil's presence may get actually assaulted. I've seen it happen, it's not pretty, and chances are nobody sides with them, the law included. 2 is children, and by extension families. Now, this is not a hard and fast rule. Chances are your local Pride is family friendly during the daytime. That doesn't mean you won't see anything racy. Like if you see somebody walking around in a pub hood being led around on a leash, don't get mad. If you see something that makes you uncomfortable or you don't want your child seeing, it's not that big of a deal. You can just leave. But if you start complaining, that puts you more into category 1, and you are by no means welcome. 3 is kind of ambiguous. It's corporations. Now, chances are you won't be seeing the Geico Gecko or the NBC Peacock walking around, but if you did, that would be fierce. I'm talking more about brands who changed their logo on Twitter to rainbow for only the 30 days in June, except, of course, in the Middle East and Russia. Or companies donating petty cash amounts to LGBT organizations, trying to fool you into thinking they're noble, when all they really want is your money. This is known as rainbow washing, and it's truly sickening. And I'm not talking sickening, fierce, hunty the house down boots, yas mama. I'm talking I'm physically ill at these companies' business practices. So, yes, I would consider all large corporations unwelcome in all Pride gatherings and events until they can prove that they are truly supportive. Now, on a slightly lighter but still related note, I feel like this video would be remiss if I didn't talk about Target. Every year, famous retail store Target puts out a collection in honor of Pride. Sounds harmless, right? Well, this is a business practice known as rainbow capitalism, using the LGBT community to scrape some more cash onto their bottom line. And much like rainbow washing, it works, otherwise, they wouldn't do it. And every year, content creators have the pleasure of going through and choosing a few to make fun of. Well, I'm a creator now and I get to do that too. How about this piece? Seems pretty cute and harmless, a regular boiler suit. And then BAM! Gay, in bold letters on the back. Okay, so I can wear this to a Pride event. Then what? Well, obviously, you throw it into a landfill and buy more Target clothes. It's completely out of touch stuff like this that makes me wonder why they even do this. They're like, hey, do you like drag queens? If you like drag queens, buy our product. Rainbow dog harnesses, rainbow Rice Krispies, a rainbow dress with no shape, pre-packaged, individually wrapped in plastic sugar cookies with uplifting messages written on them. And then I saw this. I looked at it for a long time to process. And the more I looked, the more confused I got. I thought, well, that would make sense if it were French, but it can't be French because French punctuation doesn't work like that. So I guess it's Spanish, but it can't be Spanish because proud isn't a word in Spanish. So I guess it's Spanglish, but it's bad Spanglish because bien would be the wrong word to use here. So I guess they just gave up on making sense for the sake of inclusivity. Truthfully, I think it's supposed to be a pun. Like bien proud, like being proud. This one had me going so crazy, I texted my sister-in-law, and she said it would be muy instead of bien, I believe. She also said, to be honest, my grammar is not that great, so it might be right for Spanglish, but it instinctively feels off. And I said, instinct is good enough for me. So it is now official, Target is wrong, and they should feel ashamed of themselves. Truth be told, I think Target is doing their best, but I think it would be best if they just stopped. I mean, I think it's a nice sentiment, but if you really want to be supportive, go buy from an independent queer designer. But hopefully I didn't do too much there again. I'm just finishing up here, but that was pretty much my whole 2 cents on Pride. I know this video was shorter than my other ones, but I think that's for good reason. I got my point across and it was concise. So if you enjoyed this, consider subscribing and leave a comment, hateful or otherwise. Truth be told, I was mad before filming this video, mostly at Amazon because they kept messing up my delivery of my microphone and stuff. It's been an ongoing issue. But also at myself because I came to this generally unprepared, but I think it turned out pretty good. So thank you for reading my diary and I will see you next time.